But I do also want to take the opportunity to thank and praise the partnership. You know, Joan Sullivan and her team are here, and it's personal for me. I started my teaching career at Markham, which is a partnership school, in its first year. And that is a school that if you went to today, you wouldn't say is hitting it out of the park. But we've seen improvement. When I was there a few months ago, there was instruction and learning happening in every classroom, and kids were engaged. And when I talked to elementary school teachers in the area in Watts, they are now, some of them for the first time, excited to be able to offer to their kids that they go to Markham. We see at the partnership school staff sending their kids there, and I think there's no greater validation than when staff is sending, you know, all school employers are sending their kids to our schools. As evidenced by their name, I mean, this is a partnership, and I can say in my 3 months on this board have already appreciated the feedback loop that the partnership has given with the district in terms of understanding data and budgetary transparency and parent engagement, and the need to all do better. And you know, we do need a celebrating growth and celebrate achievement when we get there. I mean, there was the 20th Street Elementary School, after 1 year, just skyrocketed in achievement. We also see all their schools increasing in ELA proficiency, 12% over a 2-year period, and 34% at Roosevelt High School. And so, you know,
hard work at Roosevelt.
It is really hard work. And I think that, like I acknowledged last time, this is hard work. It's collaborative work. I think we are getting, I think Dr. McKenna is also leading us there to a position where we can talk openly about the challenges we face and the need to do better. We've now discussed our district schools. We've discussed our charter schools last week. We are discussing our partnership schools, and no one has a monopoly on the desire to increase student achievement. And I think through conversations like this, we're going to get to a point where we really actually see continued growth and we get to 100% graduation. So I won't rest until we're much closer than we are, but I also want to acknowledge and appreciate the partnership that the partnership has given to us, and really doing, I think they are a national model for in-district turnaround. And I think when we talk about the need to continue district improvement and not just look to external districts and charter partners, the partnership is a place to start. So.
Awesome, thank you. Dr. Rodriguez and then Ms. Gonitz.
So I too want to echo everything that's been said, but I want to also call out the wonderful work that the partnership does, and does it with such humility. I've been able to see some of their professional development over the summer and seeing the engagement of teachers and teacher leaders, because we know that the most important thing we can do is develop our teachers to ensure that our kids learn. So sort of to echo, right, when we invest in our labor, then we also put kids first as well. So we really do appreciate that. And then lastly, I would really like to just challenge us to really look at the success stories within the partnership family, because they operate within the same constraints that we operate. And when they show success, like at 20th Street, we've got to find out what they're doing, because the correlation is very direct with our schools as well. So thank you for all the hard work, and we really appreciate continue.
Dr. Rodriguez said much of what I was going to say, but I just wanted to second, third, and fourth our gratitude to the partnership for their continued investment in our schools and the partnership that they're providing and the supports they're giving to some of our most vulnerable students. I think that, you know, looking at the data, it's clear that some of the partnership schools are achieving some very impressive results, and I applaud, you know, the partnership for their continued growth, especially around graduation rates. I'll also acknowledge that the data is not yet where we want it to be for all schools and all students, and I hope that through the renewal process that we'll be going through for each of these schools individually, our staff will be able to do a deep dive as to what's working and what's not, and how we can intervene to ensure continued growth, especially for subgroups of students. And then lastly, I think that there's a lot to learn, as Dr. Rodriguez also said, from the success stories here and how we can learn from those practices and potentially replicate them in other district schools. I know the partnership also gets some small strategic flexibilities, so it might be good to also investigate what are those flexibilities, what impact are they having, and how might we be able to offer those flexibilities to our traditional district schools as well. And I think teacher leadership is one great opportunity where the partnership is leading that we could potentially expand to more schools. Thank you.
Excellent. Any other comments, board members? So I will add my desire to learn more. I love that the presentation we got at our desk here was deepening our collaboration. I can absolutely just extend gratitude to the partnership, the families, the staff, and the LA Unified team that has worked to build those learning opportunities. This is about figuring out how to help kids do better. And in Boyle Heights, in the secondary specifically, there have been so many just really inspiring adults working inside of our rules to turn it around for kids, and it's making a difference. So whether we're at Mendez or Roosevelt or Hollenbeck or Stevenson or Sunrise, it's real, you can feel it. Superintendent, your team, the local district team, people coming together away from their sides, but figuring out how to help achieve. There is a great model here for collaboration and depth that when we look to Mendez or Santee, schools that every year have done better, and absolutely Roosevelt, which is the home of multiple transformations over time, today is really standing up as a place that is welcoming the people of Boyle Heights in new and exciting ways.
Two quick things. One, I'm really glad that Joan brought up the additional resources through philanthropy, because I think to Dr. Rodriguez's point about what is working, a lot of it is the teacher leadership piece, the flexibilities, but when we acknowledge, whether it's a charter school partner or the partnership, that some of that is extra resources, effective outcome-driven data-based resources to our schools, I think we as a district need to go out and try to get that for our schools. And so I definitely commit with my colleagues to going out and getting that philanthropy and going to the state for more money and more funding for our schools. The other thing I just want to say is, echoing Dr. Rodriguez's shout out earlier, I first met Joan when she was the deputy mayor of education to then Mayor Villaraigosa, and I was a teacher at Markham, and she reached out to all the teachers asking for feedback on how to improve practice, and I think that level of, and I think it was Board Member Gomez who mentioned teacher voice here. That's always been incumbent in this model, and I think that iterative process of realizing that we have a lot of the talents at the partnership and in this district to get us to 100% graduation. We don't need these outside external forces to come in and teach us something new. I think that the talent is in some cases trapped inside our classroom because we're not giving an opportunity to our teachers to lead. And so just want to acknowledge and appreciate Joan's leadership.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And it wasn't said directly, but I know one of the theories of action at the partnership is absolutely loving our kids and our families. And like Mr. Romero said, honoring his dad, because roots are deep, and it is about unleashing our tremendous, talented young people. Superintendent, there's people you want to thank too. We need partners on the inside.
Yes, and I know as late as Friday evening, our partners were working together. So Mr. George Bartelson, Mr. Vora Reed, Mr. Oscar Lafarga were working with Joan and Adam and the rest of the team. It does take true partnership, and I'm so happy to celebrate the fact that we are seamless now as one organization. And I wanted to take the opportunity to thank our staff as well. And of course, the HR team that has come along every step of the way.
Yeah.
Sergio and Jose. Raise your arms back there.
All right, kudos to all. On item 22nd, Mr. Holtzman, do you have a vote? Yes. You're voting yes. Colleagues, are there any objections? Seeing none, so ordered. Well done, do more. Go tell your story, be great. Thank you to all the partnership and your board and your members. Go team.